So you all have heard about the rewiring the nervous system video, and because I'm a person, I'm here to give it to you. So it's about rewiring your nervous system. Yeah? So a lot of you have this concept in your head that your nervous system is broken. So you talk about it from the concept of healing your nervous system. But you have to understand that your nervous system does not need healing. It simply needs rewiring. It needs to be reconfigured. It's like writing new code on a computer, okay? So your nervous system is not broken. And the reason I tell you that your nervous system is not broken is because from the time you are a child, from the time you were born, you were an infant, you were a virgin to the ways of the world, your nervous system was like a blank canvas, a blank piece of paper like this. And it is through the subsequent experiences and reactions from the people around you that trained your nervous system to believe what was dangerous and what was safe, what was good and what was bad. For example, when you are a kid and you put your hand against a flame of fire, yeah, I'm an artist, and you put your hand, this is your hand, okay? And this is a flame of fire. Let me use a different chalk. My chalk. What happened is the moment you felt that pain, okay, you'd put your hand against a flame of fire and you'd feel pain. What would you do? You'd immediately remove your hand and be like, oh, that is painful. And your nervous system registered fire and with pain. So every time you'd see fire after that, you'd keep away. You'd be afraid of candles, you'd be afraid of the stove, you'd be afraid of matchsticks. Because your nervous system registered that every single time I touch this thing called fire or flame, it will hurt me. And your nervous system's primary focus and function in your life is to keep you safe. Because understand that even as much as human beings, we have consciousness and we operate on higher levels compared to other animals, we still have basic animal instinct. And in this case, your nervous system's primary focus is your safety, your survival. So just as you would survive in the wild, you still have to survive in this world that you live in. So you put your hand against fire, it would hurt you, and your nervous system will register fire with pain. And pain means bad, bad means danger. So that danger means stay away, okay? So your nervous system from the time you were born, it was like a blank canvas. It did not know good or bad. It did not. So it is through the reactions of the people around you. It is through the physical pain or the physical pleasure you felt from doing or touching certain things that trained your nervous system to believe this is good, this is bad. And understand that your nervous system only understands two languages. Just two. Your nervous system only understands safe or unsafe. Literally, these are the only two languages your nervous system understands. Okay? Get that in your head. Your nervous system does not care about your pleasure. I talked about this on a video on my TikTok page, go check it out. And I mentioned the fact that your nervous system does not care about your pleasure. And that is why you would get into a good job, you would get into a healthy relationship, you would find yourself in situations you prayed for and prayed to manifest. But for some reason, you did not feel safe in them. It's because your nervous system does not care about your pleasure or your happiness. It simply cares about your survival. So if something is new, if something is not familiar to you, if something can put you in a situation where you're uncomfortable, something means you getting out of your comfort zone. Your nervous system will register that activity, person, situation, thing, or place as unsafe. And it will get into fight or flight mode, and it will focus on getting you out of there. That is why you get into a good relationship, but now because you are the red flag, you are being mirrored to all your toxic tendencies, you find yourself finding ways to get out of that relationship. All of a sudden, I don't feel the spark. All of a sudden, this person is not good for me. But it's not that they're not good for you. It's not that you don't feel the spark. It's simply that you are not familiar with safety. You're not familiar with safe love. Okay? So you think every single time you are about to say this situation is not for me. And with regards to what your nervous system feels safe, your nervous system believes something is safe when it is rewarded with pleasure, when it is rewarded with ease, when it is rewarded with calm, basically when it is within your comfort zone. That is why there's something called the threshold of believability when it comes to manifestation, but that is a talk for another day. Okay? So these are the only two languages that your nervous system understands. And from the time you were born, it categorized everything, everyone, and every place into these two things. So something is either safe or unsafe. I'm going to give you an example. When you were a kid, and you came up to your mom and you told your mom, Mommy, I want to draw. Mommy, I want to go out and play. And your mom reacts with a shout. Your mom reacts with spanking you. Go back to bed. Go back to sleep. You're not supposed to be going outside. Your nervous system registers that reaction as bad because it inflicts pain, discomfort, and hurt into your body and into your psyche. And it will register that as bad. So you find from then on, you struggle going to your mom to ask for things. Does that sound familiar? I'm pretty sure it does. You know I read you people. Yeah. And so that is unsafe. And let's say something safe. For example, you go to your mom and you tell your mom, Mommy, I drew this. Mommy, I did this. And your mom is like, I'm so proud of you, baby. You're my little baby. My uju. That is pleasure. So the pleasure systems in your brain are activated and you feel happy, you feel seen as a child, you feel giddy, you feel appreciated. So you feel safe expressing your passions and creativity to other people. So you grow up into an adult who doesn't feel fear when it comes to speaking up about your dreams. Does that sound familiar? Yeah. Okay? Okay? Yeah. So don't be saying that you want to heal your nervous system. Your nervous system does not need healing, it just needs rewiring. Now that you have a basic understanding of what your nervous system operates into, I'm going to give you a bit of understanding into what exactly you're operating under before we go into what you want to operate into, because it's about understanding the roots in order to understand the fruits. Yeah, that was a bar. Understand the roots so that you can understand the fruits, okay? So now that you've understood why your nervous system operates the way it does, I'm gonna tell you to, I need you to introspect a bit. Look into the experiences that you have into your life, and you're going to notice one thing. You either react good, oh my God. You either react well to situations, or you either react very badly. There's no in between. Don't tell me that I'm neutral, you're not neutral. Believe that neutrality. There's either a well or a bad. And what I mean by this is that a lot of times we claim that we know what we want. We claim that we know where we want to go. We claim that we believe we understand what is good for us. But our reactions will actually determine our actions, and our actions will actually determine our experiences in our realities. Does that make sense for you? I'm pretty sure it does. So a lot of your experiences stem from how you react to things, because your reactions will determine your actions. I'm going to give you a very good example. You wanted to manifest your own business for the longest time. You're tired of the 9 to 5, so you've been operating under the 9 to 5. Yeah? Let me change the top. I swear, if this one falls, I'm going to pray. I'm going to cry, okay? So you've been operating under the 9 to 5 for the longest time. And now you're like, you know what? I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to start a business. So you want to be a business person. You want to be a businessier. If you're new here, we make up our own words. It's fun, okay? You want to be a businessier. But now you're like, you know what? Let me go start a business. I'm quitting this job. Let me go start a business. And you go and you do your research, you do your market research, you do all these things, and you get your products, and you're ready to launch your business. And you get your client. You get your client. But now, the funny thing is, you've gotten your client. But instead of being happy and excited and giddy that you've actually gotten a client for your business that you've prayed for the longest time, all of a sudden you attacked. You feel anxious. And I'm not talking about nervousness. Everyone gets nervous when they're doing something for the first time. So I also get nervous. But I'm talking about anxiety, literal anxiety, paralyzing anxiety. You literally have anxiety attacks. You feel very unsafe. You feel like you want to run away. So you get into fight or flight mode. FFFM. Another thing, you feel like all of a sudden I don't want this. Keep in mind that you've manifested this business for the longest time, and now you have it, and now you have this client, but for some reason it's not for me anymore. Does that sound familiar? Yeah? I don't know if y'all can see down here. It's not for me anymore. You are lying to yourself. And the reason you're lying to yourself and the reason you feel all these things is because your nervous system does not feel safe being independent and you being your only source of income. Does that make sense for you? Let me repeat. The reason you feel all this anxiety, you get into fight or flight mode, the reason you all of a sudden saying this thing is not for me, even as much as you've manifested it for the longest time, is because you are finally in a situation whereby you are independent of someone else's orders. Your source of income depends on you. You are your boss, you are your accountant, you are your manager. And that is not familiar. Your nervous system is not familiar to self-operation like that. And what happens, it starts lighting up. Like bells, it starts ringing, ding, 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 ding. And when that starts, that is when all this anxiety, all these things come up. and all of a sudden you find yourself closing down that business and going back into your 9 to 5. That is why a lot of people, unfortunately, they say they want money, but when they get that money out of nowhere, they go back into being poor. It's because your nervous system will literally affect 99, actually it will literally affect 100% of your life experiences, because your nervous system is your body's regulator, whether you want to admit it or not. So don't tell me that, oh, it just happened that I always lose money, I get a job, I happen to lose it, I get into a relationship, I don't stay in relationships for too long. It's not that things just happen to you. It's that your nervous system dictates what's going to continue happening in your life and what is going to have to leave. So in this case, you have your own client, you have your own business, you're independent of someone's orders, you can show up to work whenever you want, but that freedom does not feel familiar to your nervous system. And when something does not feel familiar to your nervous system, it will not be sustained in your life. I've talked about this with regard to exposure therapy. If something does not feel familiar to your life, your nervous system, it will not be sustained in your life experiences. That is why we have to focus on exposure therapy. I believe I've given you a bit of context into how your nervous system affects your life experiences. So now let's go into the juicy part of how to actually start up. How to rewire your nervous system properly with regards to exposure therapy. One thing I always tell my clients, when I'm working with them with regards to whatever issues they have to address. By the way, if you want to book one-on-one coaching, go to the email in the description box and I'll see you then. Like I was saying, when I write, oh my God, it's rewiring. Yeah. One thing I always tell my clients is that I do not believe in formulas. And if you know me, you know how I'm against formulas, because understand that as human beings, we are very dynamic, we're very diverse. So if you start saying, I'm going to do this so that this can happen so that I can get this, at the end of the day, you're not going to get anything. You're not a mathematical equation that needs to be solved. I've talked about it in the video where I was talking about how success has been, how the life of success that we've been sold. Go check it out. Yeah? Okay? Yeah. If you're here and you still don't have a notebook, I don't know what. If you're watching me for entertainment, hiya. That is your own problem. You're the one missing out. Your fellow classmates are taking notes and you're watching me for entertainment. 6 years from now, someone will be driving a Maserati because they were taking notes. You're watching me for entertainment. I'm dropping gems, you say. I'm dropping gems. And if you hear me speaking something that you don't understand in Swahili, but I'll try to speak pure English. Okay. So regarding your nervous system with regards to exposure therapy, expose me, expose me, expose me. Now, this is how exposure therapy works. I don't know how I put my charts. Let me put them here. This is how exposure therapy works. You are a kid, no, you're an adult now, and your nervous system, there's something called nervous system set points. And these are literally like the capacities that your nervous system can hold. Like I've talked about earlier in the video, when I'm talking about you getting into a new relationship, you getting a new job, you finally getting some amount of money from your business that you've never gotten before. Understand that if you are used to making, I'm going to give you an example. If you're used to making maybe 500 USD per month, yeah? And for the first time, you happen to get to 1,000. Let me tell you one thing. If 500 USD was the threshold, if 500 USD was the maximum your nervous system has ever contained, if it is the level at which your nervous system feels safe, even if you make 1,000, even if you make 1,000,000, even if you hit your 10K month, you will somehow, some way sabotage, I don't like using the word sabotage because no one wants to hurt themselves. You will somehow, in some way, find yourself back at level 1. Because you did not train your nervous system to hold more. It's like a vessel. Understand that your nervous system is like a vessel. And all these nervous system set points are indicators as to where your nervous system feels safe. So anything beyond these set points feels unsafe for your nervous system, even if it feels good to you. Am I clear? Any level beyond your nervous system set points will feel unsafe to your nervous system, even if it feels good to you. Take note. Take a note. Okay? Yes. So what exposure therapy is basically, it's in the word, exposing your nervous system to these things. Practical example, and actually practical examples with my clients, okay? You are used I'm just gonna go back to the 500 USD. In your business, you normally make like 500 USD per month. That's a theoretical number, okay? And for the first time in a month, you got to 1,000 USD. Now the thing is, before you start celebrating, you need to first master safety. It's safety over celebration, and I'm going to tell you why. Safety over celebration. It's safety over celebration. What I mean by this is, automatically when something good, something that is a manifestation happens, we normally jump into celebrating. We normally jump into throwing a party or calling our friends, calling our family. But we forget that the primary focus should be on feeling safe. Because if you don't feel safe in this money, you will automatically not sustain this money in the long run. You will experience it. That's why a lot of you are constantly experiencing temporary highs with regards to money, with regards to relationships. You get into a relationship and for some time everything is going well, but along the way it just plummets. With money, you experience this amount of money for some time, but along the way it plummets. With friendships, with everything, you constantly experience temporary highs. It's because you've not trained your nervous system to sustain those highs. So they feel like dopamine spikes when they're actually supposed to be levels of operation. We ain't chasing dopamine spikes over here, we're chasing levels of operation. So you should train your nervous system to feel safe in this money. Now, everyone is unique. So there's people who meditate, there's people like me who journal, you can write in a book for 1 hour. There's other people who listen to meditative music, there's other people who take a walk. With regards to whatever your grounding practice, I like to call them grounding practices because let me write them for you. Take notes. Grounding practices. Yeah? Grounding practices are anything you do to help you stay stable, to help you relax, to help you introspect and analyze your thoughts. So if it could be running, walking, sleeping, some people sleep to feel better, if it could be in a journaling, whatever it is, you are in this segment of the video, I want you to keep in mind your grounding practice. And I want you to work with it with regards to training your nervous system to feel safe. So with regards to this money, you're used to 500 and you've gotten to 1,000. Before you spend that money, let me tell you something. Before you spend that money, I want you to look at your bank account balance. And the emotion that comes up first is an indicator of how your nervous system feels about that money. And I can bet my left ear, which one is it? This one. I can bet my left ear on the fact that if you were to look at your bank balance with 1,000 USD, when you've only been used to getting 500 USD, you will not feel happy. You will feel anxious, you will feel worried, you will start wondering how this money is going to stay. You'll automatically start believing or fearing that this money is going to leave your bank account. You will start feeling fear, anxiety, and worry. For some of you, you will literally go into pure panic because you'll start asking yourself, how am I going to sustain this money? How am I going to make more money like this? Maybe, and this concept of telling yourself, maybe I was just lucky. You are not just lucky, okay? That is a statement that we tell ourselves to downplay our achievements because that way we make ourselves feel safe instead of remembering that our nervous system is taking notes. So when you tell yourself, I just made this money because I was just lucky, your nervous system relaxes because it understands that it was just a one-time thing. But if you were to truly accept that you've made this money, you've genuinely hit the jackpot, your nervous system is going to panic and your nervous system is going to do everything possible to get you out of that operation, because it does not believe you are safe with that money. So with regards to feeling safe around this money, I want you to first of all focus on learning to operate with ease. Now, being a business owner myself, I can tell you, it's not easy to operate. It's not something you just wake up and you master how to do. You literally need to learn how to operate your business with ease, and not just your business. Whichever aspect of your life you feel your nervous system is dealing is affecting, yeah, your relationships, your business, everything. I want you to master operation with ease, because what happens is, if you make this money, this 1,000 USD, if you made it through struggle, if you made it through stress, if that month you overworked yourself, you burnt out yourself, you gave every fiber of your being to that business just to get to this 1,000 USD. Understand that even as much as you've given everything to hit your goal, you have also exhausted your body. You've sent your body into survival mode, and your nervous system is not going to allow you to continue stressing yourself. Your nervous system wants to keep you out of stress, even as much as it is good stress. Understand there's two types of stress. There's good stress and bad stress. That's a topic for another video. Okay? So what happens is, if you got that money through hardship and struggle and stress and overworking yourself and having sleepless nights and overnighting and all that thing, you will not feel safe with this money, because in the back of your mind, you know, to get this money again, I will have to work, I will have to struggle, I will have to hurt myself, I will have to sleep at 1 a.m. in the morning. And I want to sleep. Personally, I like sleeping. So no matter how much money I'm getting from this business, if it is disrupting my sleep, if it is causing me to stay up to 3 a.m. in the morning, man, to some level you won't want it. So understand that your nervous system will only accept everything that comes with it. That is why you need to establish systems that will allow you to make this amount of money, but through ease, without forcing you to overwork yourself, without forcing you to stress yourself. Systems of operation are very fundamental to your life experiences. Okay? Number 2, when it comes to feeling safety, I want you to have rituals. Okay? Now, before you say Christine, before you say, oh, Tina is a witch. I know some of you call me that because I'm not too much. What I mean by rituals, understand that rituals are things you do on a daily basis. Rituals are not standing on an altar or cutting a bird's neck or spilling blood on a whatever. Rituals are simply things you do on a daily basis. That shower that you take every day after work on a daily basis, it's a ritual. Did you not know? That facial massage you give yourself every day before sleeping, it's a ritual. Did you not know? That skincare routine that you do every single day before you sleep, it's a ritual. Did you know? Because you do it on a daily basis consistently and in the same way. That's why it's a ritual. So I need you to establish rituals that will constantly keep you in a state of calm. Okay? Keep you in a state of calm. So you find that even when you make this much money after a month of working in your business, you will not be feeling like you have to overstretch yourself every single time to make this amount of money. Because if it feels easy, it feels good. And if it feels good, your nervous system wants more. And understand that the moment your nervous system creates space for more, that is when more will flow into your life. But when your nervous system is actively resisting something, nothing will come. Do you wonder why your manifestations never come? Now you know. Okay? And another thing with regards to safety. I want, with regards to safety and the whole concept of exposure therapy, I want you to start entering new levels of operation. What I mean by this, I hope you all can see. Yeah, we need a bit of both. Not gonna lie. New levels of operation. What this means is, if you were used to making 500 and you made 1,000, how you used to handle this money when it was at 500 should not be the same way you are handling this money when it is at 1,000. Get me clearly. A lot of you are you're doing things in an old way and expecting new results. It does not work like that. So how you're going to handle this money will determine if you're going to get more. Because if you, let's say you overspend this money, or you do not plan yourself well, and it just happens to leave your pocket, or it leaves your bank account, your nervous system is going to register that, you know what, money comes and money goes. I don't sustain money. That's why some of you like saying that, oh, I get money and it disappears. My African people. Oh, I get money and it disappears. My home people are bewitching me. People in my place. No one is bewitching you. No one is bewitching you. You are just not aware of the fact that your nervous system is regulating how you experience this money. So how you used to spend it when it was at 500 is not the same way you spend it at 1,000. You've gone from 500 to 1,000. What you need to do with this 1,000 is, first of all, invest it into making operation easier. Back to the concept of ease. Like I said, if it feels hard, it feels bad. If it feels bad, your nervous system will say no. And when your nervous system says no, nothing more will come into your life. So this money's primary function is to make your life easier. Before you tell me how to buy a car, I'm talking about buying Invest in things that you fully know are going to make your operation easier. Because understand, when you're on a new level of operation, your nervous system is taking notes with regards to the level of that. Your nervous system is constantly taking notes. So if you're not careful with how you spend this money, my friend, you will see stars. The ancestors will show you shege. If you're here, if you're not here, you know what shege means. Yeah? New levels of operation. And with regard to this, I'm not even talking about systems, I'm talking about friends. Let me put this chart down. I'm talking about friends. I'm talking about the places you go. I'm talking about how you dress. I'm talking about how you talk about yourself. Internal monologue is vital. I'm talking about how you move. Because let me tell you something. I am knocking on my board, and I will say this with the passion that I have in my soul. If you do not move with intention on this new level of operation, you will find yourself grappling in the dark for answers to questions you did not focus on finding. Listen to me very carefully. If you do not move with intention on these new levels of operation, you will find yourself grappling in the dark for answers to questions you did not focus on looking for. Move with intention here. I'm talking even the friends that you have. Because understand, your nervous system takes notes even from the things your friends say. Your nervous system takes notes even from the reactions that your friends have to what you tell them. So when you tell your friends that, this month I made $1,000 and your friends are like, oh my God, that is so much money. Are you sure you did not steal? Your friends are literally telling your nervous system, you cannot have enough money, good, solid, honest money through the job you're doing. You have to steal it somewhere. You have to get lucky. It's not in your capability to make that much money. And your nervous system registers that as you are not in a position to make that much money without following unscrupulous rules. Okay? So watch out for the friends you have, because your friends are not just people around you, they are levels of existence that are operating around you. Okay? Consciousness is as infectious as COVID-19. I said it. Okay? So take that into account. And also with regards to this, even the places you go, I want you to understand one thing. A lot of people have a very bad mindset about money. You think money is the note in your wallet. You think money is the coins in your pocket. Understand that money is not that physical object you touch when you go to withdraw at the bank. Money is currency. Money is energy that is literally flowing through you. So that you, when you take money and you go to the shop and you buy something, you might think you're giving this person money, but you're actually creating flow. You are a means to which that money is getting to someone else. You are a vessel of exchange. So even the places that you visit with this money, with this new main level of money, will determine if you're going to make more. Go to places that are filled with people who are on the same bracket of operation or even higher. There's a reason you can never find a broke man among millionaires. There's a reason you can never find a wise man among 5 fools. Hang out with 5 fools and you'll become the 6th one. It's all about proximity to operation, proximity to levels of operation. So this money, you have to be very intentional with this. And also with regards to exposure therapy when it comes to training your nervous system, be very aware. I want you to be very aware. Be very aware of your reactions to these situations. Be very aware of your reactions. What I mean by this is, in the process of rewiring your nervous system, a lot of ways that you used to react to situations might have seemed like it was just normal for you. That's just how I am. But the moment you start becoming aware of how your nervous system has been affecting your life, you realize that a lot of reactions are programmed reactions from your nervous system. So what I want you to do is, the next time you get to this level of money, or even if it is a new relationship, whatever new experience it is you're having, that your nervous system is taking note of, I want you to be very keen on how you feel about these things. Now let's say your bank balance is used to saying at 500, but now it's at 1,000. And all of a sudden you're like, you just, for some reason, I don't even know how to explain it to you, but you just know. If you've been there, you know. For some reason, this money feels unreal. This experience feels unreal. You feel like you're in a dream. Now that is not a good thing. That is not a good thing. It's not a good thing because you are not registering it as true reality. And the moment you do not believe it is true, your nervous system is going to dismiss it as false. And that is why for some reason you'll find yourself leaving that relationship, getting rid of that money, spending that money, and you'll cover for it and you'll say that money just left my bank account. But in real sense, you are not aware of your reaction to that new situation or that new thing. So the next time you're having a new experience, you're in a new relationship, you're in a new job, you're having new money that you've never had before you start making conclusions, I want you to tell your nervous system, literally tell your nervous system that we are safe. Because understand, your nervous system's priority is your safety. That is a basic animal instinct, staying safe. That is why we run when we feel danger. That is why we feel fear when we see something that is a threat to us. I want you to literally tell your nervous system, we are safe. Be intentional in feeling safe around this money. If you have to stare at your bank account balance for 5 hours just to believe that this money is real, just to believe that you are safe with this money, please do. And I'm telling you because I've been there. If you're in this relationship and you feel strange and you feel like, no, this person is going to cheat on me like everyone else, remind yourself that your nervous system is operating off of memory, but this is a new experience, so you have a chance to create a new memory from this. This is not your old partner. They will not cheat on you like the other one. This is not your old job. They will not fire you like the other one. This is not like the other time you got lucky with money and it disappeared. This is a new experience, and you have a chance to create a new memory off of it. Understand that your nervous system is only prioritizing your safety. So 99% of the time, its reactions to these experiences will not necessarily be the best for your own doing, for your own experience, okay? So be very intentional with how you feel. Prioritize safety. So the next time you feel like your nervous system is going bonkers, the next time you feel like your nervous system is like, no. Calm yourself. Ground yourself. Practice EFT tapping. If you don't know what that is, let me know in the comments and I'll make a video on it. Practice meditation. Practice journaling. And not from the sense of it being aesthetic, from the sense of it being a key part of your life. Because your life is being affected by your nervous system in a good and in a bad way. It's about you deciding how you want it to be affected, okay? I believe I've told you everything. If there's anything I've missed, don't forget to let me know down in the comments. If you've been taking notes and you've gotten to the end of this video, you're a real one. And your life's gonna change. You're gonna tell me, see, I'm here. You're gonna tell me anyway. I hope you learned something. See you in the next video.